Hi, I'm Kyle, and on this episode of the MWA podcast, Sean, Jeff, and I are asking Alf Sharp the 5 questions. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out Alf's interview on episode 590. So welcome back to the show, Alf.
Thank you.
Well, before we get into the 5 questions, we need to do a little woodworking news. So first up, Mirka has introduced 2 new sanders. Well, they're not new. They're just the latest versions of sanders they have.
Right.
And this is the DROS 2 and the DIOS 2. And I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that.
Why is it?
I know. It's like, can we just go round and
Is it
rectangular?
so it's whatever, but it's the random orbit sander,
Yeah,
ROS, and
yeah.
then there's just an orbit sander, which is like the
rectangular
thing where it might go in a slight vibration, but it's not truly
it's not random
orbital.
orbit. Yeah.
Not random
so,
in orbiting.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I
Get
know.
past that.
It's weird names, but hey, what is Mirka? Are they German or
Ooh. I don't know
Swedish?
that. I first knew about them from pneumatic driven, like professional grade paddle operated sanders. And then they came out with this like, hey, we can do electric too.
I'm sure these names make better sense in native language. But anyway.
Yeah. No, I really think they're like anachronisms or
I think they are.
They're just making stuff up.
Exactly. So, but anyway, they have redefined their designs, and they have updates which include clearly visible LED speed indicators and a dedicated on-off switch. So you're telling me the other ones didn't have a dedicated on? I guess it was just that paddle.
I think that's it, because the paddle is a variable switch, right? That's how I kind of understand these things are the way they were when they were pneumatic.
Yeah. So I guess So I guess now you have a switch that will turn the thing on or off, and then you can activate the paddle.
So if it's setting down, you're not using it, and you bump it with something, it doesn't just start spinning and sanding whatever it's resting on.
Exactly.
That's fair.
That's fair.
We have this.
Yeah. But with that, they also have a new model, which is a 7-inch model. So, if you're doing a lot of tabletops or something like that, you might want to look into that. But these are kind of like I think Mirka was the first on the market with these. I mean, they had their air-powered sanders for years, but then they came out with these, which has a whole little separate power supply that then plugs into the sander. And I think a lot of people have copied them. I think, Bosch and both Festool have.
You started seeing them come out once they converted to the, hey, we can have a plug-in model.
Yep.
Then you're seeing all the other brands going, yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah.
But I do think they're maybe not the OGs, but they're at least a respected model from back in the day.
Yeah, and I love their sandpaper. They have all kinds of different stuff. They got the stuff that's foam back that's really nice, and then they have their Abernat and all that kind of just really
I've
nice.
always been intrigued by them. I've not touched any of them.
It's expensive, but they all are. Yeah.
But I mean, I have a very small number of sanders, and I don't honestly use them all that often.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gone through a Bosch sander. I absolutely killed it. I've replaced the pads for it, so it's better now. But then I got a Festool one when there was a great deal on some whatever. So it's like $100 5-inch orbital thing,
Yeah, I got that same deal. And
but like this, like I don't have orbital sander, and so getting like a 6 or 7-inch model might be nice.
I don't have a large. I got the Festool, and I got a 5 and a 6-inch, and with what I do these days, I have really no use 6-inch.
The 6-inch that's a pretty good size. Some
it is. I mean, that's some major surface. So
I'm just not doing large work like that. So
right.
Yeah.
But I do like that they're doing that, and I don't think it's every company that's doing such a gradient in size. Like you can get a 3-inch, a 6-inch, a 7-inch now. Like it's a 5-inch. Like, and they're doing it they actually change it by the size of the orbit. And so something that's got a 2.5 mil orbit compared to a 5 mil orbit, there must be, the differences between those two mean something to those people that use them.
Yeah. And it's just how aggressive they are and things like that. Yeah, I think I got one that's a 3 millimeter orbit, and I don't hardly ever use that one. I use the 5 mil most of the time. But, a lot of these, I mean, we're using them, but I think they're mainly made for a lot of, car work and stuff like that.
That's why
I'm sure Alf might have used something similar. Or were you doing any of the paint and body work on those cars?
Yep.
and you use those just to begin with, but by the more of the sanding on bodywork is done with those long
Right.
Like those
uh
bars.
uh
Yeah.
sander. I forget what they call it. They're not reciprocating sanders.
Yeah, they go back and forth.
They're
Yeah.
reciprocating. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just go like this rather than random orbit. And then in the end, you're doing it by hand,
And
just like with a fine piece of furniture. If
Absolutely.
you really want a good finish, you sand every inch of that car by hand.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's I saw my son last year clay barred his entire car. That
Mhm.
was using a 2-inch piece of clay
Yep.
and walked over every freaking surface of that body. And it's that is a 2022 Blazer, not Trailblazer. So that is a medium-sized SUV. This is no sports car. There's a lot of body going.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
surface area.
That's a lot of
And
service.
it took him like 4 hours, but boy, when he was done, you could feel it. You
Yeah.
knew it was done. Like
Yeah.
it was perfect. So it comes down to that handwork.
Yeah. No, Al's completely right. I mean, even on my little small jig parts and sand them before final. It's
Yeah.
probably a little overkill, but hey, want them to look nice.
Yeah. No, but these look really cool. Do we know the price point on what they're offering?
$3,000.
No. Never mind.
They're at least
That's
500.
tool area.
Yeah, you're in that
No, it
area,
is.
right?
It is. It's as expensive, if not more expensive than Festool, but I think they're around 500.
Okay. I mean,
Memory serves me right.
but
Yeah.
if it's one of those things, and again, a known brand, a trusted tool, it's going to last a long time. It's proven and well reviewed, all that stuff. I mean, yeah, you're right, $600.
Yep. Yeah. I just look. We're doing the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. $600.
But if I were in the market for
Yeah.
another sander, I honestly, I might go that way. I'm
Yeah,
really,
I mean,
I
the
like the
Festool
idea.
the Festool is just as it's.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so if you're going to invest in that kind of tool,
Mhm.
if you're doing a lot of that work that's going to benefit from that tool, I
Yeah.
think that's a very, very good way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I've had my little Festool forever.
Mhm.
And yeah, you can't beat it. So, what they say, buy once, cry once.
Something like that.
Yeah. And speaking of buy once, cry once, Lost Art Press has a new coffee mug out. This is a little bit more reasonable. It's only $36. So
Pretty
anyway,
cool.
it's pretty cute. It's red and it has the big Lost Art Press logo. And I saw this the other day and I just said, okay, we got to talk about this. So it's it's a true coffee mug. They had some other ones that were more like Steins.
Yeah.
And so this is a true coffee mug. It's 14 ounce. It's dishwasher, microwave safe, and it's handmade here in the U.S. And it even has a potter's mark on the bottom of each mug.
Mhm.
So
I like the handle actually of
Yeah,
a typical
I
mug,
do
but
too.
it's like a double handle.
Yep.
So it's like wider and it has a little bit of like a groove in the middle
Yep.
between
Yeah, I
like
think I
it
told
looks like
Jeff
2 or
about
5
this
pieces.
a week ago or so. So have you ordered yours yet?
Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't for the storm, it would already been in Tennessee. So
Okay.
And
Fantastic. Well, with that, let's thank our patrons. So who do we have to thank this week?
yeah, we like to give our Patreon supporters a big shout out. We're giving that shout out to my favorite family electrician, my dad, Scott Wisniewski. Thanks, Dad, for helping us out. And if you, dear listener, would like to join my father in supporting us, you can go to patreon.com/MWA podcast and help us out there.
Yep. And that's fantastic. So thanks so much, Sean's dad. I mean, none of
Hey,
our parents even know we have a
I was going to
podcast.
say it. I didn't want to say it, but I was going to say it. It's kind of telling.
Exactly. With that, let's move on to the 5 questions. So, Alf, what is your favorite tool? And as always, our limit is 23.
As always, what?
Our limit is 23 tools.
23?
Yeah. Yeah, you can only just have one, but if you want to go on, we'll cut you off at
Well,
23.
my favorite tool is unquestionably the Spokeshave.
Okay.
Sure. Any particular one or just the tool in general?
Well, to be honest, I have one I made myself.
Well, like steel and all, like you made it yourself?
No, I didn't make the steel. I bought
Okay.
the blade. I have a record Spokeshaves that I did some modifications to. The throat was too wide, so I put a shim in behind the blade and narrowed down the throat and got a lot better results out of it. But yeah, that's unquestionably my favorite tool, the Spokeshave.
They're fine.
So the one you made, what'd you make it out of?
I made it out of Cocobolo.
Nice, nice.
with a brass sole.
Mhm.
It's I forget how they call this. Excuse me, my cat is trying to cause trouble here. It's the kind of spoke shave where the blade becomes part of the sole of the. I know there's a name for that sort of,
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
rather than the blade being at an angle
Yeah, it's,
in
I
the
have
body of the spoke shave. It rides on the bottom. It rides on the surface of the.
yeah, I have a couple like that, and I forgot there is a particular name for that. Forgot what it was. See if I can look that up. I guess it's just a low angle spoke shift.
I guess that sounds.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, I think it's just a low angle spoke shave. But, yeah, those are fantastic. So, spoke shave is your favorite? Well, on to our next question.
For sure. And so that question is, who has influenced you the most?
I think we've had several guests that when we asked this question, some of them did say Alf Sharp.
that's sad.
Aw, are you blushing? Wow.
Well, I had one mentor who didn't know much about making itself. He was not a maker, he was a collector.
Mm.
His name was Ben Caldwell. In the antiques world, he's fairly well known. He was actually a doctor, a physician, but he was really a brilliant man. He wrote a couple of books on silver, collecting silver. He had an extensive collection of antique furniture, but he bought a fair number of pieces from me, and he taught me what to look for in the style and proportion. He didn't teach me anything about technique. Technique is easier to obtain for a serious woodworker
Mm-hmm.
than good sense of style and proportion, and that's what he taught me. That's one of my strong early influences. A maker that I'm incredibly impressed with is Richard Scott Newman. He's not widely known. He is one of the most capable woodworkers I've ever known, and designs and builds exquisite furniture, just crafted to a fare thee well. But he found it so difficult to make a living actually doing it that he would get in and out of woodworking over the years. One time he stopped woodworking in order to be a dance instructor. But he's a remarkable maker. And then another person who I consider possibly the most highly skilled woodworker in America is Stephen Proctor. He ran Wendell Castle's shop for many years. He was actually responsible for the execution of many of Wendell's most famous designs. Stephen has designed a few things in his career, but he's kind of like me. He's more of a technician than he is a designer. But he is possibly the most brilliant technician that I've ever encountered. It's awesome to see him stand on top of a table saw with a spinning dado blade
Oh.
and lower a piece of wood down on the spinning dado blade and then spin it around in order to make an oval-shaped recess. And
But by doing that, by standing on the saw?
yes, while he's
My golly.
I guess that's where the dance instructor.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
of course. Yeah. But it's a bunch of, oh boy. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, you don't normally say, "So how'd you lose your toe on a table saw?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How'd you lose your toe on a shop saw? Well,
Yeah.
so I was standing on it, holding a board down on a, yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, that's interesting. I have heard of Stephen Proctor, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And he's still here to tell us about it. So that's nice. He hasn't lost limbs.
no,
along
he
the
hadn't
way.
lost anything
Yeah.
Yeah.
except his mind.
That for sure.
So, Alf, what's your white whale? One thing you haven't built that you've always wanted.
Well, a Newport 9-shell secretary would have to be one of them. I don't know if you're familiar with the Newport, Rhode Island style of 9-shell secretary. Cadwallader, Philadelphia Cadwallader Chippendale chair would be one.
Nice.
A really fine Philadelphia pie crust tilt top table.
Mm-hmm.
Ball
Mhm.
paw feet. No. Hairy paw feet.
Hairy paw feet.
Hairy paw feet.
Have you
instead-
done one of that?
I've done hairy paw feet. I
Okay.
haven't done a
A tilt top?
tilt-top table with hairy paw feet.
Okay.
Hairy paw feet are really more English than they are American, but
Yeah.
you see them on some American work, especially from Charleston, South Carolina. But you see some from New York and Boston, but not a lot.
Interesting.
No, that's fun. Like I don't think I've seen a hairy paw, but I was gonna mention that in the last episode when we were talking about the ball and claw foot. Like the claw itself, depending on styles, is the big change, right? The ball's a ball, but the claw is a eagle's talon or a falcon talon or something else. You know, it could be have 3 or 4 paw, little tines or whatever. You know, a lot of variety in there. When you're talking about a hairy paw, that just sounds like tedium. Carving little
It's
hairs.
a little harder to execute than a ball and claw. The ball and claw got to be so routine in America that even cabinet makers who didn't consider themselves carver could knock them out.
Could execute one, yeah.
You know, there came to be a set of steps that you could follow to knock out a ball and claw foot. Will Neptune is a very well-known traditional furniture maker, and he has deeply researched the steps that an 18th century cabinet maker might make to knock out just a generic ball and claw. And I think he's got YouTube sessions on just how to do that. Will Neptune.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that name.
Cool. Yeah, and then when was it? I guess it's early 20th century or something where they started making those things out of metal with, like, glass or
Oh, that was a 19th century.
that was 19th century?
Yeah.
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 19th century thing. Yeah. Interestingly, the ball and claw came to us from China.
Yeah. I think it was a dragon's paw.
It was a dragon's claw holding the pearl of great wisdom.
Mhm.
But in the Western civilizations, it became a bird's claw.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Oh, then next question. What is your number one tip for fellow woodworkers
I know,
or turners, I mean, you're a turner now.
Yeah. My number one tip is make sure your wife has good medical
That is the best.
and hopefully her job it pays fairly well too.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Along with that are you being comfortable by not being the breadwinner of the household?
Yeah, that's right. It's right. Not being having your male ego insulted by having your wife make more money than you do.
Exactly. That's very important. I agree with that.
But a little more seriously, the number one tip is don't be afraid to stretch out
Mm-hmm.
and don't be saddled by pre-published plans. Launch out on your own and make stuff. Make mistakes. Just go ahead and make mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about it on the last episode. I mean, the times that you were approached with something and you'd have said, yeah, okay, I can do that, having never done it before, are those times where you have the opportunity to grow, to truly find out. And those can be so informing, not just for that particular project, but that's ongoing beyond that. Like it's very, very good.
Well, lastly, what is your go-to finish?
Well, my go-to finish over the years has been French polish,
Okay.
which is executed with shellac as the medium.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken to spraying these turnings with nitrocellulose lacquer
Okay.
because a turning is a little more difficult to French polish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the curves and everything, right?
Unquestionably, I'm very opinionated. The best finish that gets put on a piece of furniture is a French polish.
Yeah, no, it's that extra bit of effort, right?
Oh yeah, definitely an extra bit of effort. Although it's not as hard as I think some of the proponents of French polish or some of the practicers of French polish like to add a level of mystery and intrigue to it to sort of keep people from trying it and to keep the competition away and
Right.
sort of elevate themselves in the eyes of others. They make it sound more difficult than it is, but it takes some practice to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Is it so? In my mind, there's not much difference between like just having a kind of a balled up rag and
Uh-huh.
doing circular motions repetitively to burnish over and over and over again. But then some years ago, the French tool of the polissoir was in vogue, which is a much harsher burnishing tool.
Yeah.
but it does the job.
That's a completely different kind of finish.
Okay.
That's a wax finish.
Oh, okay. So you use that on wax. Okay.
You-
Okay.
Yeah.
Don Williams
Yes, that's
brought
exactly what I
that
was
to
thinking of.
our collective attention.
Yes.
And it's like a very tightly bound broom,
It's like a broom handle, or like the base of the broom
Like-
itself.
the base of a broom. And
Yes.
what you do is you impregnate that with wax
Okay.
and then press it hard on the wood as you.
So you're really trying to ingrain
Yeah,
wax into the surface.
right.
That's different than just building a shellac, finish with just call it what it is. French polishing is polishing. It's just overly, kind of working it in, smoothing it out, working it in, smoothing it out over and over again.
Yeah, the start is really important with a
Okay.
French polish.
Yeah, don't you add some drops of mineral oil or something like that to
Well, I prefer linseed oil, boiled
Okay.
linseed oil,
Okay.
and pumice or rotten stone
it? Mm-hmm.
at first.
Interesting.
And your first couple of coats of finish are a combination of shellac, boiled linseed oil, and pumice. I prefer pumice. And what the pumice does is it's slightly abrasive, so
Mm-hmm.
it cuts up little wood fibers, and then the combination of the wood fibers and the pumice and the shellac get pushed down into the pores of the wood
To fill them.
and
Yeah.
fill them.
Yeah. It's like a slurry at that point of
That's
all
right.
those
It
materials.
becomes a
Yeah.
slurry. And what you polish that on, the circular motion is when you're doing that. After a couple of coats of that, you will sand again.
Oh, okay.
Steel wool, because you're going to get a buildup of that slurry on the surface that you don't particularly want.
Mm-hmm. But you
So,
filled below, like you're trying to just bring it back down to level.
Right.
Okay.
And you're not completely eliminating the coat of shellac,
Right.
but then you start adding coats of shellac, and you do away with the pumice. And depending on whether you're using a shellac that has been de-waxed or shellac that still has the natural waxes, you keep adding a little bit of boiled linseed oil to your pad as well. I prefer to use the shellac that still has the natural waxes and not add any linseed oil, because the linseed oil creates a slick on top of the finish, just an oil slick. It's just an oil slick. And when you're finished, you've got to do something to get rid of that oil slick. It does lubricate the process a little bit, makes the pad glide a little bit better but that's why the shellac that still has the natural waxes is superior to the de-waxed shellac, because the natural waxes help the pad to slide. But when you're in this step, you're doing more figure eight forms or just straight with the grain. You're not doing the circular motion.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Just to kind of,
Saves on the carpal tunnel a little bit.
yeah.
So
Actually, not at all. It's quite responsible for carpal tunnel.
Oh, yeah. It's those repetitive forces for sure.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite shellac that you like to use?
Well, I just made my own shellac. I mean, I didn't make the shellac.
You're not a bug.
Yeah, I always mixed my own shellac. I use shellac flakes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Do you have a favorite brand of shellac flakes?
And I just bought I have a really good local paint store here,
Mm-hmm.
and they were able to get together with Zinsser and buy 50-pound bags of orange waxed shellac flakes.
Like straight natural, just orange color waxed shellac.
Orange colored. Sometimes it would be called lemon, sometimes it would be called orange. And there was a slight difference in color. And what I would do was, I only bought 2 50-pound sacks in my career.
That's a lot.
I would buy one and then sell 5 pounds to a number of other people that I knew, and keeping, 15 or 20 pounds for myself. And,
Okay. So
and
you're a
you,
shellac dealer, basically.
pardon?
You're
Yeah,
a
that's
shellac
right.
dealer. I need a
right.
dime bag of
Exotic-
shellac. Yeah,
Exotic materials from third world countries.
Yep.
exactly. That is fantastic. I like that. But yeah. So they were getting the stuff before Zinsser mixed it up in their products and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I hadn't heard about that. That is neat. Well, anyway, so Alf, where can folks find you on the internet?
Well, my website is easy. It's alfredsharp.com. There's no E on Sharp. alfredsharp.com.
Fantastic. And thanks so much for coming back on the podcast. I mean, it's only been 400 or so episodes, so
10
we need to have you
years.
back on
It's been a lot of fun, guys.
sooner rather than
Yes,
later.
sir.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.